Protecting Borders Act. There's that buzzword, safe. Are you safe? Well, you're going to be safe because in this bill, I'm going to give RCMP powers to American law enforcement. And they can come across the border any old time they want and do anything they damn well please without any accountability to the Canadian people, the RCMP, or the Canadian government. I can make you disappear. I can take you away. They'll never find you because you're an enemy combatant. And your government has allowed me to do this to you. Isn't that fun? And when I shoot up your home, you can't sue me because I'm not a Canadian law enforcement agency. I'm American. Find me if you can. That's what they've done for us. So maybe there's a blessing to this pierogi parliament or prorogued parliament because this bill may hopefully die a swift death. President Obama did the same thing. December 16th, he invoked one of those presidential orders and he gave power to non-American law enforcement to do the same thing, to come into America, exercise police powers, do whatever they want with no accountability, no strings, no complaint processes, no nothing, November. But that's only the beginning because there's something else, something far worse than that even. The Rand Corporation has put together a report, a stability police force for the United States, justification, and creating U.S. capabilities. I thought it was Pakistan or Afghanistan or Iraq that needed a stability police force. I thought we were quite stable. I'm looking out the window, looks pretty stable down there. But no, the Rand Corporation says that we need a special hybrid military law enforcement unit to work under the auspices of the U.S. Marshal's Office for wide-ranging tasks like crowd and riot control, special weapons tactics, and investigating organized crime groups, because your police just can't do that. You need that stability police force, specially armed like the military, organized like the military, a rank structure like the military, but free from that nasty, horrible posse comitatus. Isn't that awesome? They had a word for that in Germany. It was called the Waffen-SS, the armed SS, a military unit working like the police with special weapons and tactics, coming to a neighborhood near you, perhaps. Unless you get off your fat asses and do something. Like, what do they got to do to you? Human sacrifices in the town square? We did a lot on police corruption last week, too. We said the RCMP is rogue. They need to be brought under control. It's not right that you can sit in your police car and masturbate in front of people on the street and nothing happens to you. It's not right that you can use date rape drugs on people and get a 10-day suspension. It's not right that you can punch somebody's flipping teeth out in a drive-through and get a 10-day suspension and never lose your job. It's just not right. It's not right that you sabotage evidence and destroy evidence. It's just not right. It's not right that you leave the Governor General's home unguarded while you go play hockey and cruise for hookers in your RCMP car. It's not right. But then it looks like Americans are going to come and do it for us anyway. So what happens? One of these not right people gets a knife and slits up an Ottawa cop who was buried today. It's just not right. You made them, you got to fix them. It's called taking responsibility. You get paid big money. You got a lot of dickheads working for your police department, get them out. If they need something, help, therapy, jail, incarceration in a mental hospital, do it. Because we have to eat this shit every day. The only reason this one's in the news is because the guy killed a cop. They go around and terrorize the rest of us poor unsuspecting people in uniform or out of uniform anytime they please. But one of the little things that comes out of this sidebar when I'm looking at another town's news. Of course, we had our big scandal at the Mint. Shrinkage, you know. We didn't count it right. And we sold off some scrappy gold like slag, you know. It's just slag gold. Slag gold. Yeah, you buy that for like 10 bucks an ounce. We paid probably 1,100 for it, but we'll give it to you for 10. Because it's just scrap, right? Well, there was a fire in Ottawa. And I found that quite this explosion and fire. So I do some investigating to look into this. It was at 7 Grosvenor Street. And then lo and behold, I find out the next door neighbor is a silversmith. Like, what are the odds? You know, you're a silversmith. If you got a fence here, slag gold, I got this slag gold, you know, and I got to melt it down and turn it back into bars. Who am I going to need? A goldsmith or a silversmith? He knows how to do that. Put it back into circulation, eh? And lo and behold, kaboom! Taking care of business. Our Mountie buddy was unemployed. Well, not unemployed, he was employed. He was just suspended without pay finally. Maybe he was helping out getting some, just slag gold, man, that's all it is, just slag. Slag. Hey, copper, don't catch me with my slag gold, I'll slit your throat. You never know what evil lurks in the hearts of mounted police kind. Then we have a big story over the holidays too, some holiday. Holiday to Valhalla for some. We have 4 Canadian soldiers and a reporter blown to Valhalla. Journalist Michelle Lang was killed in Kandahar, along with 4 soldiers. They were driving one of them light armored vehicles, which aren't so light, 23 tons. I was playing with one in the summertime. That's one big-ass piece of steel. This puppy was blown 10 meters in the air, 23 tons, 10 meters in the air, turned around, lands on its upside down. That's not an improvised explosive device. That is a landmine, a big landmine, a landmine that was planted in a tunnel under the road in an area where all our reconstruction money goes in Rand, just outside of Kandahar. We have put a shitload of money into that area. That is our showplace for Afghanistan. So how does that happen? Can we get the screen there, my colleague? So lo and behold, lucky me finds this map at the Toronto Star. And so you're way over here somewhere, and you got to drive all the way across town. There are not a whole lot of roads you can take, right? It's not like Toronto. And you come up here and you get blowed up in this little Dand area here where we spend lots of money. And then lo and behold, maybe I'm the only person who like looks at the newspaper and actually has something sink in. I go, well, there's only this one road here, see? And it goes to this Sarposa prison. Or Sarposa prison. And I'm going, that rings a bell. I remember that place. The world's biggest prison break happened there in 2008 when jihadists drove trucks into the walls and blew massive holes in the walls and let all, virtually all, of the most notorious and deadly prisoners in Afghanistan out. 450 Taliban, Al-Qaeda militants, specialist terrorists, just plain old thugs, rapists, and killers, all got out. Virtually very few have been captured to bring back. Then I have to wonder, like, okay, I'm following this road here all the way across Kandahar, and I'm an investigative reporter, and the biggest scandal right now in the Canadian government was, did we torture or didn't we torture? Did we torture, didn't we torture? We're still flipping the coin on that, but you just wonder, like, where would she be going as an investigative reporter? There's no McDonald's. It's just empty space. There's just the only thing out there, except for a big hole in the ground now, is this prison that was blown to smithereens. So you got to ask yourself, where would she be going? She was a good, gutsy reporter, wrote a lot of stuff on corruption in government in the conservative hotbed of Alberta, homeland of, the Reform Party, the Conservative Party, the Alliance Party, and those things we take to heart. She raised a lot of nasty questions. She was the one who raised the issue about the athletes getting the flu shot. She was looking into misappropriation of funds in medicine. The fact that we're bringing in doctors from South Africa